Hey YouTube, this is Kevin Bowen of Bowen Small Engine, and currently on the table you guys are seeing my valve seat cutter equipment as well as my valve seat grinding equipment. They're highly similar in some ways, but there are of course differences. The major difference is the size of the pilots, and of course these are cutters and the valve seat grinder uses stones. But for right now, guys, let's just focus on the cutter so I can show my potential viewers that may not be aware of what this equipment is, how it's actually used. Alright, these are called pilots, and there are various sizes in here. The ones that I typically use are the 1/4 inch and the 5/16 because I do a lot of valves on Briggs & Stratton. I have done a few, of course, on Tecumseh's and Kohlers, but typically these are used more or less for the Briggs & Stratton engines. This is the driver portion, and of course this is just an insert, steel insert for the handle. This is the cutter, and these are very expensive, guys. If you have to purchase one of these, this cutter alone can easily bring 150 itself. Okay, so bear that in mind. You want to take really good care of these and make sure you clean them thoroughly before putting them back in their case. But I'm going to show you guys how these actually go together. Now, as I said, there is a 31 and a 46 degree angle on this cutter. That's important because when you grind your valves, typically you'll grind your valves around a 30 or a 45. So you want that little bit of clearance difference so that if you lap your valves, they'll potentially they'll mate better, if you will. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys that the cutter goes on. Okay, and then of course you can choose a pilot that fits the valve or valve guide, shall we say, that you potentially are going to use. Now, as you guys can see, even though I turned it over, this is the correct way this would go in, okay, to a valve guide. And when it's in the valve guide, you just potentially turn it and it cuts the material away from the seat to ensure that you have a clean mating surface for your valve face. So pretty self-explanatory. And as I said, this kit and this kit are essentially the same. This one is just a little older. So with that being said, these kits, in my opinion, are superior than that of your valve grinding, okay, or valve seat grinding equipment that you would potentially have purchased many years ago. Okay, they're just cleaner, more efficient, dare I say, than your valve seat grinding equipment. Now, with that being said, these cutters, as I advocated earlier, are extremely expensive, and you can imagine how much money you're going to amass in collecting multiple cutters, okay, compared to stones, okay, for a valve seat grinder that you can get for relatively $6 to $8 a piece if you go and purchase them from India, or $15 to $20 if you purchase them from Suix. Okay, so bear that in mind. Okay, as long as you have the right equipment to dress the stones, your valve seat grinders and their pilots and stones, they're really hard to beat for the price, and I want you guys to know that. Okay, so without further ado about the valve seat cutters, we're going to dive into the valve seat grinder in the next video. Until next time, YouTubers.